How did you get started playing golf, and when did you decide you wanted to play collegiately?
Yes, I got started playing golf January of 2009. So I had just turned 6. My dad introduced me to the University of Greater Houston, which introduced me like life skills through the game of golf. And at first, I enjoyed like the classes and everything, but didn't really like it that much. I have a call. I have a call. It's right there. I'm sorry. Didn't really enjoy it that much until I kind of got more used to it. Just started taking more practice, started taking more lessons, and fell in love with it. And then kind of realized I wanted to play collegiately after my freshman year of high school. I became the first person from my school to qualify for the state championship, and that's when I saw the potential I had. And could go, I'm like, oh yeah, we're definitely going to do this in college, and hopefully after college.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. So what was it that drew you to Howard University?
With it being a new program, I know basically before 2020 or really before 2019, Howard Golf did not exist. There were like club teams before, like in the 60s and 70s, but got disbanded due to cuts. I know end of 2019, I saw Steph Curry announced he's going to help fund the men's and women's golf team for the next several years. I'm like, oh wow, because I mean, I was a huge Steph Curry fan. And I knew that he loved and enjoyed golf, but I knew he didn't really have any ties or connections to Howard. And then once I saw the story, I met a guy named Otis who was like, hey, Steph, I see him around the golf. And he was someone who came to Howard. Wish they had a team, did everything to start to like get a club team started, which he was able to do. But like, there's no way this illustrious and amazing university does not have a golf team. And so for him, kind of catch that, I think it was at a screening. Yes, it was at a screening for a completely different film he was working on. That Earth was able to catch his attention. I mean, the fact that that sparks the initial conversation, and a couple months later, hey, I don't know what you said to Steph, but Steph is committed to bring the golf team. And seeing that, I just remember initially, I'm like, oh, that's so great for whoever goes there. Okay, now where am I going to school? Because at this time I was a junior in high school. And then the world shut down in 2020. And I just remember golf wise, I was like in between coaches. Physically, I was playing some of the worst golf I've ever played. And I'm like, you know what, this hard thing may not be too bad. Like it'd be an opportunity to be a part of a new program, to like really be a trailblazer. And especially as a Black woman playing a predominantly white male sport, the fact that I could be surrounded by like-minded individuals, be on a different part of the country, really be in the city. Because I play in Houston, like Houston, Texas, all the way, but you know, again, well, I'm from the suburbs. So just really experiencing a new way of life on top of being able to continue to play golf at a high level. It just seemed like too good of an opportunity to pass up. And I would say initially meeting Steph now after my freshman year of college, because we have our annual event, Bison at the Beach. Seeing him and like being able, because you see him on TV, you see how he interacts, but actually like physically talk to him and interact with him, especially this is the week after he won the 2022 NBA Finals. So he could have been anywhere else in the world. And the fact that he was committed to being there with us to show you the kind of person he is. And for that, especially that first year with just COVID and then just adjusting to college life and everything, and then adjusting to the winter, because again, Houston, Texas, we don't do anything below 40 degrees. Experiencing like a real true northeast winter because it was very cold that winter. Just to see it all come to fruition and then just to see it meeting was like, yeah, American for sure.
That's awesome. So it did cut out just a little bit on there. Like, let's hear it again. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Can
All
you hear
right.
me?
I can hear you now. That's better. Yep. All right. What are you studying, and what do you hope to do with that degree?
Yes, I'm a sports management major, economics minor. I was finance initially until I took accounting and like 6 tournaments in the span of 40 days. I was like, nope, accounting is not for me. Especially since my goal is to play professional golf for the degree. I would say, I mean, the student plan is still complete. So my biggest thing was to have something to fall back on that I would be just as interested and just as passionate about as golf. So I don't know exactly what plan B would look like. Biggest thing, plan B make plan A work, and plan A is to play pro golf. But I know, just like with any sport, there are a lot of uncertainties, a lot of unknowns. And if not professional golf, I know the golf industry as a whole is very broad, very vast. Um, so not no, I don't know exactly what just yet, but having that knowledge to take as a professional, whether it's a great or not, I know they really feel great.
Awesome. What are some hobbies you have outside of golf?
Hobbies. I'm still trying to discover. I feel like as a student athlete with both a fall and spring season, my time is limited. So I would say whenever I'm home, I enjoy playing the piano. I've started getting into cooking recently. I say that even though I've only made 2 dishes, so I say cooking. I enjoy it, but I need to add some more dishes to the side of it. All I know to make is like sausage, roast pasta, with some salmon and spinach. So I'm gonna say cooking. I need to learn some more recipes, but playing the piano and cooking the piano.
Yeah, you've got your two staples though, so that's good. So tell us what it was like being in an ESPN Plus documentary called Why Not Us, Howard Golf.
Yes, why not us, Howard Golf? I would say it's one of the coolest projects I've ever been a part of. Because I mean, me personally, I watch a lot of TV, I watch a lot of movies, and you always see the finished product. Sometimes a few deleted scenes, sometimes a few bloopers. But to film, because we filmed for almost an entire year, from June 2022 was our initial start, and then we did filming for like a week in October, a week in January, and then tournaments in February, April, and then April again, and then June again for Bison at the Beach, to see how much goes into it, to see the storyline they go with, to see the cuts they make. It was truly amazing just from a videography perspective. And from my perspective, I would say I was covered very, very well. Thanks to our producer. Shout out to Tristan Williams. And even my family, just being able to tell my story. So I feel like there's a lot of times I can like talk about golf, I can post about golf, and then anybody asks, hey, how's your time at Howard? Like I can tell you all I want, but for someone to be like, you know what, let me actually show you what happened, what our practices are like, what our training is like, what our tournaments are like. And especially I would say my favorite two were episodes 3 and 5, which kind of introduced myself, kind of told a little bit of my story as well as my family, and kind of to see how I didn't play bad, but not as well as I normally would have played in one of the tournaments I was covered. And then just to circle back around to episode 5, where I won our inaugural tournament for Lady Bison Invitational. The fact that not only did I win that tournament, but I won it basically with the cameras rolling was so incredibly special. Even though both teams didn't finish the season, we had won like with a victory, just to see what all it takes. Because that's life. You're not always going to have the end result you want. It's all a matter of, okay, we've seen this. How do we adjust? How do we go back? Or what can we work on next time? And then just seeing Howard Golf playing it in true life. Because I know golf is known not that much across HBCU. So really trying to push the agenda, trying to push the perspective like, hey, Howard Golf is here. We're here to compete and dominate with some of the other incredible divisional schools. So it was really amazing to be a part of.
Yeah, that's awesome. So speaking of the 2023 Lady Bison Invitational, you did come home with the win. How did you prepare and keep yourself mentally strong throughout the event?
I would say that was April of last year. I know I just played well the week before at an event in North Carolina. I believe I shot my best over for 3 days, so I was already physically playing well. I would say Baltimore Country Club. If you haven't played it, you have to make sure your legs are right for that one because it was the hilliest. Because mind you, again, Houston, Texas, very, very flat. I think we have 2 courses in the entire city that are hilly, just for sole fact they're built on land, the old landfills. Baltimore Country Club was physically the most hilliest course I've ever walked. To some courses, if they're hilly, because they have like a few spots, like, oh yeah, this is it. No, the entire course was just up and down, up and down. And the fact that we hosted, I started on hole 1 every single day, and 16, like 15 goes down and up, 16 goes down, 17 goes down and straight up the hill, 18 is up, and we played 30. We walked the practice round, played 36 holes in a day with the 2 18-hole rounds, and finished with 18. To say 72 holes in 72 hours. Oh my goodness! Physically, it just I still can't even think about it how I was physically. I feel like mentally I just kept telling myself like on to the next hole, on to the next shot. And I knew I was playing well and I had a sense of where I was. So I really just tried to focus as much as I could, being present minded, staying in the present moment. Because I know there's a lot of times, either if I'm playing bad or playing not as well, even if I'm playing good, I have the tendency to kind of lose track, lose focus. The more I could stay myself like kind of grounded and present, than just let the results But at the same time, with us hosting the Lady Bison Invitational, I'm like, there's no way we're gonna host our very first event in a Lady Bison outfit.
Yeah, for sure. I had to put on. Do you think that that was your greatest golf achievement, or is there something else that takes the cake?
I would say now winning 4 times collegiately, 4 times with the team, and 4 times individually. That was definitely the highlight of my sophomore year. But I would say now my biggest collegiate achievement, at least, was my win at the SAS championship, the SAS HBC championship for the second year in a row. Because I won it again. That was an inaugural event. I won that in 22 and circled back in 23. Lady Bison was fantastic, but this is my first time for the SAS ever defending a title. Defending a title is a lot different pressure. I've never been in that kind of pressure before. It's definitely kind of different headspace because obviously you played very well before and you're almost kind of expected to win. So the fact that not only was we as a team able to defend, but I defended my individual title. I would say that's probably especially all the delays. Ended up being cut short in 18-hole round. So it ended up being 36 instead of 54 holes for 3 days. The weather, I want to say, I think it took us like 12, 13 hours just to play 18 holes because we had to go, come back, all of the weather delays. But anytime you can still play well while fighting the weather, as we are outdoor sports, we love weather increments. I would say that was definitely Lady Bison was great, but then SAS kind of took the cake on that one with me being a defending champion.
Yeah, that's awesome. You had the target on your back and you prevailed. What are some
Yeah,
what are some goals you have this upcoming season for you and your team?
absolutely. Our spring season, we won't start for another few weeks, which that's one of the reasons I like the spring a little bit more than the fall. The fall is like, okay, school starts, okay, season starts in less than a month versus the spring, okay, school starts now. You have a good 6, 7 weeks to prepare physically and mentally. I would say the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is really just improving my mobility and my flexibility, which I've been doing a good job of either with the team now that we've started back with workouts kind of on my own. Because I know that's been my biggest, I would say, downfalls in the past few years, not being as flexible and limber as I wanted to, which anytime you got to walk 54 holes and 72 holes in a stretch for just a couple days, um, being able to quickly recover and bounce back for the next day. So that's my biggest thing, just physically getting better and stronger and more flexible. I would say mentally, there's a few people I'm talking with, both like with the university as well as with the team, just like getting my mental game sharp. Because what you think in practice, what you think when you're playing, I feel like the more you can put yourself in those like tournament and pressure situations while practice, the more it can translate versus waiting until, okay, here's the tournament. What do I want to think about now? No, already have those thoughts, have those self talks. Now, while I would say the pressure's kind of off that way, when you do put it on yourself and that time does come, it's like, oh, I've already simulated, I've already been in this moment. So really just taking my mental game to the next level and then really just enjoying and embracing the moment. I will say, with this being 2024, I am now officially closer to my college graduation than I am my high school graduation. So knowing like I only have 3 semesters left, it's time to really capitalize because I've done well. I'm not going to sell myself short. I've done exceptionally well these past 3 years. Or I say huge past 5 seasons. But now I know it's time to get to the next level, especially with qualifying school looming next, chances of trying to go pro. I know the better I put myself now in a position to like be looked at to gain sponsorships. I know not the easier it will be, but the more smoother transition it will be trying to play professional golf. And then just really trying to win, trying to place well any chance I get. But I say the biggest thing is winning that conference championship, which I came close the past 2 years. I've gone 5th place, solely from the simple fact of just not doing that well straight out the gate round one. So again, now doing this 3 times around, third time's a charm. No matter what, I'm winning that conference championship.
You heard it here first. I love it.
Absolutely.
Who was your favorite professional golfer?
Favorite professional golfer. I found the women's side. I love the Porter sisters, especially Nelly Porter. I was able to meet them at an LPGA event a few years ago. Just her tempo, like you can watch her for hours just swinging the golf club. She's really great. So love her. And then I say on the men's side, I mean obviously Tiger Woods. We all love the GOAT Tiger Woods. but I say really starting to watch Xander Shoffley and Max Homa more. I was actually able to talk to Max Homa over the phone. This was a few years ago at the Wells Fargo Championship. Oh yeah, that was my freshman year. I was there for media day for like the pro am, and the guy just I was like, "Hey, we have Max Homa on the phone. If anybody wants to ask him a question," I'm like, "As a college golfer, yes, I would love to." So he's really great. And then Xander Shoffley, he's done a lot like with Callaway Golf, and he has talked with one of our people we know very well, Roger Steele, who's been with us, not with us, but like has talked with us, has interacted with us, has played golf with us, the whole Callaway Golf family. So he's really great to watch. Yeah, I'd say that's my top four for sure.
Awesome. What sport would you play if you didn't play golf?
Ooh. I always ask my parents that what sport I would play. I would say as great as a golf swing I do have, probably not softball. I cannot swing a bat to save my life. Definitely not basketball. I did that for 2 years. I'm like, yep, y'all can have that. All the screaming in your face, running up and down the court. I'm good. Um, maybe tennis. Maybe tennis. Tennis would seem really cool, even though I know. Definitely not swimming. Definitely not swimming. I did that for a summer. I'm like, yep, you have to be in shape to swim. So I would say I've been trying to incorporate that more into my guess you can add that as one of my hobbies, trying to do that more in the off season and for training. Um, my dad says softball. I mean, I think I would eventually learn how to swing a bat correctly. So either softball or tennis, not volleyball, not that. Definitely an outdoor sport. You got to be outside.
Yeah, you're staying with the outdoor sports. All right, I love it. So what's your favorite part of the game? Like, do you like teeing off? Do you like chipping, putting? Is there a certain distance that you feel like you're just money from?
I will say other people would probably say my driver because I'm a exceptionally long hitter. I hit the ball very, very far for a girl. Um, it's great, which I love a good drive, but I know it just always sets me up. It's not my favorite part. I would say it's the one I'm the best and most consistent at. Um, I honestly my wedges, even though it's something I'm trying to strengthen, hitting like just an absolute flush wedge shot, especially like my A wedge, my attack wedge, from like anywhere from like 115 to 120. Because trying to see like the ball hit and kind of spin. I would say that's probably one of my favorite parts so far. As like hitting a really good flush shot is that because then birdie's just right there. Um, or I'd say going for it on a par 5 and 2, that's my favorite part, especially when it all works together and make the even putt. Because I would say putting, yes, but you can't make the putt unless you set your iron or wedge shot up. Because I feel like the driver, you have room for error, but the better iron and wedge play you can, then the less stress that puts on your putting. Because if you're leaving yourself 20, 30, 40, 50 feet in the hole, your putting's only going to do so much. So yeah, I would say wedges, specifically wedges. We're working on the iron, so wedges for sure.
All right, awesome. Superstitions, pre-game meals, music, what's going on before the game, before your match?
I would say the meal varies for 36 holes. I really like to eat. So if I can get an omelet in, that's great. Some toast is great. Some fruit is great. You can never go wrong with Chick-fil-A breakfast too. But sometimes it kind of goes right through you. So, and anytime I can sit down somewhere nice and get an omelet, some toast and some fruit, I know it's going to be a good day. I would say music. If it's a Sunday, I'm listening to my gospel music for sure. Anywhere from Clark Sisters, Kirk Franklin, Mary Mary, that's on full blast. Um, so far, any other superstitions I just have to have? I know there probably is some. I can't think of any right now. Oh, I would say my golf balls either the night before, usually the night before, if not the day of. I have it to where I have a center and I put a line all the way across it. Most people just have a one line. I like it all the way across. One to differentiate because there's been a few times in junior golf I've accidentally hit the wrong golf ball, and that's not good. Nobody really has a line all the way across. Plus, I like to see whenever I'm fighting it, lets me know if I'm hitting it, rolling it end over end. And then just whatever favorite color Sharpie. Oh, I would say the last day I really like playing with the Tylus one ball, especially if I'm in contention out of the league because I pulled that ball out says number one. So final round, Tylus one. If it's a Sunday, we listen to gospel music. And then if we're at a nice place or a nice hotel, I'm getting me an omelet with some fruit and some toast.
There you go. Omelet, gospel music, and the line over the ball, winning the match.
Ooh.
Any shout outs you want to give? Teammates, family, coaches?
Shout outs, Maurice and Nina Jackson. They always give the first shout outs, of course. My parents, the real MVPs, MV Jacksons. Um, I would say shout out Howard Golf, shout out Steph Curry. If he sees this, Steph, we still gotta play golf. We have yet to play golf. So hopefully we get in a round of golf soon. Again, Kristen Williams, producer, why not us Howard Golf? He's the best. Hashtag your favorite producer. I mean, just like my Kansas City family, I know they came and supported me a lot. So my Kansas City and Arkansas family. Oh, and then my church, New Faith Church, they are the best. I love my church. I'll even have 2 t-shirts that say I love my church. So New Faith Church in Houston, Texas.
That's amazing. Yeah, should we talk about Steph Curry real quick? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what was it like meeting as some would say the GOAT, but Steph Curry?
Yes. So I would say that freshman year, because honestly, everybody or from the outside looking in is like, oh my gosh, he's so supportive, he's great, which he is. But we really only see him once, if not twice a year, once for our bison at the beach, and then sometimes if the Wizards play the Warriors. So the fact that I've been able to meet him 3 times, I would say each time has gotten better. But the first time, I mean, I'll never forget, especially since it's so anticipation, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna meet him, he's gonna be here, I'm gonna meet him. And I remember for our event, we always have our fundraiser event, and then we play Pebble Beach the next day. And I was in charge of like greeting the guests outside. So back in my usher days, kind of greeting and letting them know hello, like saying, introducing myself, saying how the evening's gonna go, and then following them inside. And I just remember I was like, oh, when I didn't know he's gonna show up. It's gonna show up. He used to know what time just yet. And I just remember I saw him until to this day he had an aura. He was glowing. I don't know if it was the finals or just him as a person. He was glowing. And I just remember I was standing there and I literally had to turn around. I'm like, and then turn back, especially since I was actually in Boston for, what was that, game 6 of the NBA Finals. I unfortunately did not get to go, but I was there for an internship at the USGA at the time, the Lee Elder internship. So I just remember watching on somebody's laptop, like Steph and him and his team winning the finals. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to see him soon. Like, this is going to be so cool. And I remember, I think I was like, hi, I'm Kendall Jackson. So nice to meet you. I was actually in Boston. Congratulations on like winning. And then like words are just, I even remember words are just coming out. And he was like, he was just so nice. And I remember for my 13th birthday, my parents, they got me a Steph Curry jersey. Because at the time, I will say honestly, and I've told him this, I was not a Steph Curry fan at all. They was beating up on my Houston Rockets for like that 2014 to 2016 time. And then after a while, I'm like, you know what? I may start to like this guy. He's pretty cool. The man can shoot. He can shoot a basketball. And then really just started liking just his personality, just him, his family. And then once he funded the golf team, I'm like, oh yeah, Steph Curry fan, absolutely. Can't like that's the first thing I packed for Pebble. Forget the clubs. The Curry jersey we're packing first. And so I knew I had a good chance for him to sign it. I was able to like talk with him one on one for a little bit, got him to sign my jersey. And apparently the one I have, they don't make that model anymore. So the fact that he signed it, I remember he held it up, taking a picture. He was like, I feel like I'm back in the NBA draft. Like, this is so cool. But the thing that sealed the deal, which I will never forget, again, this is the week after the NBA Finals. So the room we were in, it was like a lot of donors, a lot of different power people. And he was on stage talking, just kind of giving his acknowledgments, acknowledging each of every one of us. And he called my name. I was like, oh my gosh, like, he knows my name. Like, I'm not just like a name on like a leaderboard. Like, he knows who I am. And he was like, whenever you win championships, you get stuff like this. And his bodyguard, who I'm now very close with, he's really great. He brought out his NBA, not the big one, but the NBA Finals MVP trophy. And I was like, there's no way. This time last week, I was watching this on a computer screen, and now I'm here with Steph, his bodyguard, and he has the MVP trophy. And he called us up on stage to get a picture. Mind you, too, I was in the very back of the room. I don't think I've ever moved that fast in my entire life. I think I took maybe all of 5 steps, and I was up on that stage. It was him, 2 of my teammates, me. I'm like trying to scooch, get in the middle. And this has been the defining moment in my life. My life has not been the same since this moment. Steph looked at me. He looked me directly in my eyes like, Kendall, come stand in the middle. You know what? How about you hold the trophy? And the next you know, it was solid. He didn't tell me it was gonna be heavy. That thing was heavy. I'm holding this man's trophy. Steph's behind me laughing with us. We got cameras everywhere. And I'm just like, Kendall, please do not drop this trophy. If you drop this trophy, you are not on the golf team no more. And that was just such a surreal moment. It was like, wow, it's amazing what one conversation can lead to all this. And then since then, the second time meeting him was after the Warriors and the Wizards. He came to surprise us. And now, man, just straight from the right house, dress pants, dressed you, slapped on the Howard golf shirt, started working out with us. And the third time, Bryce at the beach again. I will say, each time I've now met him, it's like I don't have to introduce myself. Like he knows who I am. It's still so crazy to think about. The last time I saw him, we talked for like over an hour just about family, about basketball, about golf, about life. I was like, because you're talking to him, like, oh yeah, it's just another dude, and then he leaves. You're like, wow, that was Steph Curry. That was Steph Curry. So he's the best.
That's so cool. That's like a defining moment.
Yes, my life has not been the same since I held that man's trophy, and it will never be. Has not been, it will never be anymore.
That's so cool. I love it. Well, that was a great story. I'm happy we got to talk about that.